Hello. I had a little bit of technical difficulties there. Look at me. I'm close. And I've got this awesome little background thing. I'm trying something new. So, hey, I'm going to roll the intro and we're going to talk about the ostrich effect. Maybe you know something about it. Maybe you don't. So hang on a second. I'll stop that. And I will be right back. Boom! Let's do this. Well, hey there. All right, so, since I knocked Sid Squatch over during that. Okay, so I'm going through a bunch of things lately, thinking about things, and I tend to hide from responsibilities. I've got to type something in really quick here because I had to restart my computer. The Ostrich Effect. I got to find the article because there's actually a cool little thing about it. It's like tech something. Hang on a sec. Sorry. Anywho, I'm wondering if you guys do this at all. Like, okay, it's by Tecatello. That's cool. Okay. Do you hide from responsibilities and stuff? Okay. Ooh, I'm really close. Janae, hello. I'm not down the street from you tonight, but next time I am, I will let you know. So here's the interesting thing about it. What is it? Okay. What is the ostrich effect? Well, its primary role is to protect the individual by preventing some external events from entering its consciousness. Okay. So, I've got my information from medium.com and effectology.com. And then I've got another one that I'm going to share with you. Okay. So the ostrich effect is a cognitive bias that causes people to avoid information that they perceive as potentially unpleasant, like not looking at your bills, not watching the news, etc. Okay. So avoiding negative information, including feedback that could help you monitor your goal process instead of dealing with the situation, we bury our heads in the sand like ostriches. But the funny thing is, ostriches do not bury their heads in the sand. Did you know that? They actually lay down flat and try and blend in with their environment. So I don't know where this misconception came from. So Janae says, is that the same thing as avoiding grading by cleaning the house or organizing the pantry instead? No, I think that's an avoidance thing. That's a really good question, though. This would be more like you don't open an email from a parent, Janae, because you don't want to know what it says, or the principal has emailed you and asked you to come into the office. You don't open it. You're like, okay, well, if I don't see it, then it's not there. So like, I'm terrible. You guys, I don't even know if I want to admit this. I'm terrible at not opening my mail. I mean, I'll go months. So I've missed reimbursements from insurance companies. You could potentially miss appointments. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong by avoiding stuff. So I will not watch the news because so it is avoiding dealing with stuff, but it's not like avoidance. Like I don't want to grade my papers, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but let's see if I can share this really quick and then I'll talk about this. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I don't know, maybe you guys go through this stuff too, you know. Let me put my little head down here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here it says, are you avoiding unpleasant information? So it says, only makes it worse, and then avoiding unpleasant information. I think you can see my cursor now. I hope so. So this talks about ostriches burying their head in the sand, but that's a misnomer. So don't we all avoid conflict at work just because we fear the conversation or worry about the outcome? Now, this comes from tecatello.com, okay? Ignoring your boss when you know they might have something negative to say about you or to you. Delaying scheduling a call with a client who's mad at you for extending delivery timelines. Ignoring data that shows your pet project at work is a disaster while looking for information that justifies your decision. So refusing to measure your work progress when you know that you're falling behind and feel anxious about missing the upcoming deadline. So some people go as far as doing this to protect their self-esteem. They don't want unpleasant information, to destroy the image they have created for themselves. So it's a conflict between your rational and your emotional mind. So I find it interesting, and I want to know if any of you deal with any of this, because it is kind of a big deal, and it makes me think, crap, I should probably work on this more, So I wrote this down again. So it's a conflict between our rational mind that knows something is important and our emotional mind that tries to avoid it because we anticipate that it will be painful. So it makes us look away from information that could potentially be useful to us, which is kind of weird. Okay. So here are some common ways that we avoid and bury our heads in the sand, so to speak. Okay. Physical avoidance means not reading something or watching the news, maybe not talking to specific people. Okay. Inattention, not paying proper attention to information. So I suppose that's like something falling through the cracks. Like you get some of it, but not all of it. You're not really focused enough on it. Biased interpretation of information, which means deducing information so that the unpleasant stuff is ignored. So I don't really have an example of that, but that would just be like seeing only the good parts. Excuse me, I'm always burping when I'm on this show. Forgetting info that isn't fun to think about after it's been processed. Now, this was interesting to me because I thought, well, would this be, could it be a selective memory thing? Could it be a protection defense mechanism? Could it legitimately be old lady brain? Something like that. I don't know. So some things to do would be ask yourself, why am I avoiding this? Is there any other info that can help make me a better, help me make a better or more informed decision? Okay. Is there a time to ignore this stuff? As long as it leads to a better decision making, what's wrong with me? To better decision making, or gives you some kind of benefit. What can I gain? What can I lose? So you really have to look at the whole thing. Now, here's the interesting thing. Okay. The opposite effect is the meerkat effect. Meerkat increases interest in acquiring info. So like, the meerkats are always like so interested in everything. So that's the opposite effect. Okay. So it could depend on the situation, like market shifts. Okay. Like interest rates. People want to check when it's good and they don't when it's bad. So it is kind of like what I was talking about with selective avoidance, but not specifically the grading the papers thing, because that's just avoiding some kind of work and not a situation. Okay. So this was coined by George Lowenstein of Carnegie Mellon University. He says it makes people avoid negative information, including feedback that can help them get a sense of how they're doing on their goals, especially when the information is perceived to be unpleasant. So we talked about this. So in irrespective of how you choose to respond, completely avoid it, ignore it by not giving it the attention it demands, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So how does it impact you? Delaying something which is important to be taken care of comes at a huge cost. You may underestimate the cost you have to pay to avoid dealing with it in time. You may also underestimate the benefits of handling it now. It could be a vicious cycle of comfort followed by avoidance, followed by more discomfort. So that's the thing. I do it a lot, and I don't know why I do it. I have no idea. It doesn't help me. When I face it head on, I do better. That's my dichotomy. I say I'm really intense, but I'm also super laid back. I speak my mind, but I also, don't. And it's like, okay, I face my fears and sometimes I don't. So is there a time that it's acceptable? You guys should tell me in the comments below, because it is kind of a kooky thing. My lighting's going all wackadoo. So it is kind of weird, thing is, I don't want to say that it's a bad thing if it really affects you. Like I said, if you're not getting money that you need, or you're missing appointments, if it's a boss or somebody that wants to talk to you, you could potentially look like you're somebody who doesn't care, or that kind of thing, All right, so here we go. It's final thoughts already. Okay, final thoughts. Be careful, because you could miss important stuff. Like I said, letters, checks, appointments. Okay. remember, you can seek out additional info, figure out a way that will help you stop avoiding stuff like checking your mail. So maybe you could do something like set up a place where you have to go through it and maybe reward yourself. Because see, I literally will go months. I just put it in a box or put it in a place or in a paper bag, like a Trader Joe's bag. And then months later, I'll go through it. And I legitimately have missed out on some really important things. Okay. But here's the big thing. Why do we have to label everything? Like we come up with the ostrich effect, we come up with the meerkat effect. But I guess if we have to, be a meerkat. So, you guys, you know what Sit Squatch says. The journey begins with you, so be good to yourself. Thanks for joining. Please leave some stuff in the comments just so I can comment on it later because I like that. Give me ideas for my next one. I have a lot of things coming up. I have a lot of big things in the works. I have a lot of things I've been dealing with that I want to talk to you about, but it has to be the right time. So there are things coming, my friends. There are things coming. And remember, the Horgan loves you. Peace and love. Have an amazing... Oh, yeah, I got a comment. Hey, Cornelius. Hello. It's nice to see you. So it's a short and sweet one tonight, you guys. He says, long time, how are you? Well, we'll have to catch up on Messenger or something later. I'm great. Well, got some things. So I was working on a contract tonight, so that's good. Sent it out, should be signed, and my seller should be underway, so that's good. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Love you, and I will see you next time. Bye.